Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. Just kidding. Hey, thanks, the Broken Scout. Blew you bastards. Yeah, so hey, by the way, just like I said last night, that because my dog is sick, and I told you guys, the wacko trolls they believe that I'm pretending that there's something wrong with my dog so I can bring in super chats. Okay, so don't send me any super chats related to Blue, okay? But if you'd like to help support my channel, that'd be great. Or just do whatever the hell you feel like doing, okay? I mean, but I just absolutely called it. I knew that they would do that. I mean, these are really disgusting people, but they're proud of themselves. And by the way, one of the people who I served a cease and desist letter is commenting, doing it again, attacking me when I haven't said a word to this person or referred to this person in months. Okay, so they've just now violated the cease and desist order. So we'll see what happens next. Oh wow, I didn't even realize that's what. Okay, thanks, Scout Dude. I wonder why it's orange. Should be purple. Awesome.
Ocean wave.
Well, anyways, thanks so much, Scout Dude.
For Blue, you bastards.
And like Scout Dude always says, hit the like button, etc., etc., etc. Okay, the update on Blue is, let's see. I think actually he almost died. Okay, that's how close. It was when I saw him when he wasn't breathing well, just laying on a bed. That's when I went, okay, this is a bigger deal. Like he was laying on his side last night, and he was just laying there, and he was just like. And he'd kind of look around, but he, even if you pet him, he wouldn't really move at all. He would just kind of lay there. You could pose him, like just kind of, hey, thanks, Eugenie, K-Me, and Wise Child. So I brought him in there, and, they got him right in and started doing stuff, and then, he was already looking better just after when we were there because they did some things, But then they put him on Lasix. They already had him on Lasix then, and they put him on Lasix overnight, and it kind of cleared his. That's what Lily, my other dog, had at one point. And so I guess his breathing rate was 80. It was like, so that's kind of like. I mean, that's pretty fast, like 80 per minute when he came in. And he's supposed to be around 39, 40, something like that. Like, that's kind of like normal.
He's like 13, but he has, basically he has heart failure. That's like adults have that in, humans. But in his case, like, his heart's enlarged, so it presses against his trachea. Hey, thanks, Dana, 1972, and Sirius Black.
You are my boy Blue.
So it presses against his trachea, so he doesn't, has a hard time breathing. Or it doesn't, it's not a hard time breathing, it's just sort of, it's irritating, like a scratch. So that's why he was on that, I can't remember what it's called, but the cough medicine that I told you about yesterday. Yeah, so then they put him in this, like a glass cube or something, and they just loaded up with oxygen. So it was 42% oxygen in that cube, or 40% oxygen, and I guess normal air is 23. So while he was in there, he got his heart rate, and he was on Lasix, he got down to 40 breaths a minute. So I was like, oh wow. And he was playing, like eating and playing, and finally peed today, and he seemed to be doing, he was doing better. And then she said, now we have to wean him off the oxygen and see what, so they got the oxygen down to like 24, which you're getting 25, you're getting close to the 22, and he was breathing at 50, which is absolutely an improvement over the 80, but they want to see him around 40. So he has to stay in there. He's staying in there one more night. But, she said that they try to keep the cost within the range that they discussed when we were there. So anyways, it gets pretty nutty in there. I don't know if you guys have ever had to go to an emergency vet like that, but man, that's... So there you go. We're probably like at 10 in the morning, get to go pick him up. Something like that. Hopefully he's... And then you have to give him on Lasix, and you can't really ever miss giving it to him to either. That's another thing. Yeah, it was Dove Lewis, not Dobe. Yeah. Pet insurance doesn't work worth shit. Don't bother getting that. You'll spend way more money. What you should do is just put aside like $100 a month for your dog, or $50 or something, and just kind of have your own little healthcare savings account for your dog. I mean, that's how I would do it. In the future, that's what we'll probably try to do. And then, when they need something, oh, there it is. Hey, thanks, Alley Cat. So anyways, it seems like it's they were all the lady was saying, I told her, I go, you guys just want to keep her there you just want to keep him there another night, right? And they said, well, that's part of it. I mean, because they said he's just like jumps in their arms and wants them to be held. That's pretty funny. Chloe's a little bit kind of looking around for him, you can see. He's like, where's Blue? I bet when he comes home, they're just going to be like a big, she'll run right up to him. And it was funny, last night she was trying to get him to move. This is how sick he was. It's like he's on his side on the bed, and she kept coming up and biting him. Except all of this is made up, everybody, because it never really happened. I'm just trying to get super chats. Anyways, he was laying on his side on the bed, and she was biting his leg. Hey, thanks, Kathy Fredmaker. But he's biting his foot, trying to get him to do something, and he didn't even move. Normally he'd be like, "Arr," or something. He was just like, I mean, I actually thought they were going to come back when I brought him in, that the guy was going to come back in and say, yeah, this, But no, he was like, hey, I think we can. So, it's looking good now, so we'll see what happens. But.
Sweet baby Blue, kiss off haters.
I mean, owning pets is expensive just in general, right? I mean, you get their teeth cleaned, it's $600. You get the x-rays for something, it's $500. It's just kind of the way it is, That's why some dogs are neglected, and because people can't afford it, so they just let things go. And anyways, that's the update. So thanks all for all the well wishes and everything. Definitely, if he's back home tomorrow, you'll see him on the screen. And guess what, man? Tomorrow's donation night, so it's all for Blue, everybody. Yay! Let's go. Yeah. So tomorrow night, you know how it works. It's the last day of the month where there's one last push. Hopefully we have a good night and we can do some damage. We kind of struggled there for a bunch of the days where we were out of power, etc. Really bad, actually. So that was one of the days was the worst day in 3 years on the show. Other than when you take a vacation or something. But I actually was on there. Wow, look at that! What was your old name? Illiterate Inc. I can't remember. You had what was your name a long time ago? Hey, thanks, Stacy Facey. For you and Blue. All right. What was Illiterate Inc? You guys remember him? A long time ago, he always come in and go, "Can I get a recap?" Man, I just can't remember the old name. Anybody? Yeah, this was Rocky. This is my Rocky. Somebody has another dog named Rocky, but that's one of my other dogs that passed away. He was only 8 because he got into some grease and I don't know, like my wife buried some grease because I guess that's how they do it over there, and he dug in the ground and dug it up. I mean, he would eat anything though. Like this guy, he was like you didn't even, you know what? If you could just somehow put soap on Rocky's tongue, you wouldn't even have to do dishes. You could put a dish on the ground and he would sit there and he could literally lick all the plates clean, and you could just put them back up in the cupboard. I mean, there's not a damn thing left on there. Yeah, it is a palm. He had the lion cut. He was like a stuffed animal.
Be you and Blue.
Yeah, I mean, just picture this guy right here for a second. Like, probably one of the cutest dogs you could ever see in your life. But like, you could pose him. I was telling you guys this the other day. You could just sit there. You'd set him up, like he's on his feet or legs, just standing. Like you can set a dog like it's sitting like a human. He would just stay there with his paws like this, and just look at you. And he wouldn't move. Then you could sort of move him and pose him in different places, and he would just stay there. You could just go stay, walk away, go into the kitchen. You look back over there, and he's still sitting there. It was the weirdest thing you've ever seen. You look back over there, and he's still in that same pose. Man, he was awesome though. And I had another one. My first one was named. What was the name of that damn thing? It was. Oh yeah, no, that was. I mean the name. His name was named after my favorite NBA player, Drazen Petrovic. So Petro, right? And when you cut his one here, this is absolutely 100% accurate sound effect right here. Yeah, there was one time where I think his fingernail, or no, not fingernail, the nail on his paw, they got into the quick, and it hurt, right? So if you just grabbed his paw and made it look like you were going to cut his nail, he'd go. It was the weirdest freaking thing you've ever seen. He would just keep going. I don't even know if that's even technically a sound a dog can make. You know, it's somehow he did, but it didn't make any sense at the time. He was just waiting. Oh my God, here it comes. And then, like I said before, if you put a chicken pot pie on a, let's say you had a chicken pot pie, you know, the little gravy that sometimes is left over on the plate. Boy, he'd get right up in there and he would start licking that plate. And then if you came anywhere near that plate, he would jump on top of the plate with all of his fur and block you from taking the plate away from it. Man, I've had some characters for dogs, I can tell you that. Oh, and Lily, I've told this one before, but some of you knew. Lily was the black Pomeranian that lived 17 years. 2 of the years I kept her alive with Lasix, I think. She didn't really have a very good quality of life. I regret. I mean, part of those 2 years was better, but you know, the end it was. I just took her in one day and, you know, kind of held her, and they put the medicine in there, and she just kind of. It was weird. The life just left her. You could see it. Kind of a strange moment there. But I remember one time I was with a girlfriend at the time, and we were walking. We stopped to let him go to the bathroom. We were at this bridge, and it was like on the way to the coast. There's this little pull off, and then a bridge that goes over a creek that's near the road. And so I went down below with Rocky here in this picture, and Rocky, you know, was walking around peeing and stuff, and all of a sudden, and up on the bridge was the girlfriend and Lily, the black Pomeranian. Li was the name. And all of a sudden I hear this, ah! You know, and I look around, I see this blur flying through the air off this bridge that's like 15 feet up in the air, and it just goes flying by and crashes into a bush, and then it rolls out, and it turns out it's Lily. She just hit the bush, rolled out, and took a piss. I mean, it was the weirdest thing in the world, as if like she meant to do that. Like she just went. The thing is, she couldn't see very good. I always think, man, how lucky. I can tell you this: if it was Rocky who had jumped off, he would have broke a lot of bones. Lily was light like a cat, so probably wouldn't have been quite as bad. Yeah, Lily just jumped off, landed in a bush, rolled out, took a pee, and was like, "What's going on?" I don't know, other than you jumping off like 10 stories for you. And anyways, that was kind of weird. I mean, there's a whole bunch. There's millions of stories with these guys. Those are just the craziest ones. So some of you have heard these before. Now, one thing that was really interesting that Blue does. When we play this, me and my wife would play like get a ball when we first got him, or the first few years, you know. And down the hallway, she'd be at one end, I'd be at the other end, and you'd kick a ball, like a little tennis ball, back and forth. And he'd try to block it, you know, like boom, he'd block it. And once he'd block it, like sometimes he wouldn't be able to block it, and he'd get really like, oh, come on, do it again. And then you kick the ball, and finally he'd block it. And he'd be really pumped, but then he would take the ball in his paws and then flip it back to us. Like he'd actually go like this, throw it back and go, yeah, okay, do it again. I mean, that's so weird that he literally would throw it back to us so that we could kick it again. I don't know if that's normal or not. It just seems kind of odd. So there you go. Now he's going to probably come home tomorrow. Yeah, that's really smart. The more I love my dog. That's probably true. Yeah, there's an entire online community that brigadiers me, which means that they all plot against and try to get me, like people to remove me or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so, you know, I don't really know what to do about it. All I know is I talked to Court TV today, and let's see, what did they say? Or they said, hold on. They said the video went really well. We will need to do this a little more often. Thanks again. Couldn't agree more. All right. So despite the crazy trolls, here's what I'm going to tell you guys. So all the people out there on the Idaho 4 case that keep bashing it over and over, you're just like, oh, it's a Chrysler 300 gray. It's a Chrysler. You're all going to be wrong. Okay. You are all going to be wrong. That is going to be the white Elantra driving around. And, you know, if it's not, it breaks every paradigm of logic in the history of the world. I mean, just think about it again, everybody. The probable cause document mentions that the vehicle makes 3 initial passes and it enters the area at 3:29. At 3:30, a vehicle drives back behind the building, which is the first one. The other 2, they don't mention the time, but it's the same vehicle. As you can see, the exact same profile as it driving around. And then at 4:05, they said it enters the area again. Now it's mentioned, precisely mentioned, and how it drives back behind there and turns around. That is a white Elantra. They already know that is because they've seen it on another camera. So it turns around. It's exactly what it says right there at number 52, 500 Queen Road. Then it drives down. It heads west on Queen Road, turns around at King and Queen, and then it heads east on Queen Road. And then right after it says that, you see the car coming around again. The same car that was the exact same profile as the first 3. And it does exactly what they said. And it is going to be the white Elantra. There is no chance that it won't be. It's not going to be a security guard driving around. It's not going to be a Chrysler 300 because it matches another car that's around there. Oh yeah, let's see. This one car just kept doing all these loops for fun because they live there. Ridiculous. And so the thing is there's people that just can't accept it. You know? I don't see Koberger in the car, Gray. Where is he? Prove that that's Koberger then. Okay, I can. I will right now. And it's all circumstantial evidence, by the way, but it's incredibly powerful. His vehicle, his phone was turned off for a 2-hour period of time. Inside of that 2-hour period of time, a white Elantra matching his white Elantra absolutely perfectly, missing its front license plate, is seen driving by the A&W heading towards the one, and then at 3:29 passes a Linda Lane camera that films out to Taylor Avenue. It drives by right there. That same exact vehicle, white Elantra, missing its front license plate, drives by. Then it turns in. And eventually we narrow it down to 408 to 420 when the white Elantra is seen speeding away, and the white Elantra was parked between 408 and 420 because you see it drive back behind there, but it doesn't exit until 420. So that means for 12 minutes the white Elantra sat very close to the 1122 King Road address. And then it speeds away. And then 28 minutes later, Koberger's phone itself turns on, heading south away from Moscow, Idaho. But guess what? In those 12 minutes, when that car was parked there, a knife sheath was left on a bed inside the house on Madison Mogan's bed that had Brian Koberger's DNA on it. Now, if that isn't absolute proof, then I you know what? I don't know what to tell you, man. That means you're able to believe in hobgoblins and all kinds of crazy stuff. Hey, thanks, Ivan Victor. Yep. Yep. Blue's just staying one more night over there. I'm excited to see him because I bet he'll be more like energetic than he's been in a long time. But you see what I just said right there? How do you refute that? And then, weeks later, right after they announced that, oh yeah, we were looking for a white Elantra, he heads on home with that white Elantra. And then he's caught there because of DNA, and he is sifting through the trash and putting his garbage into Ziploc bags and throwing them into neighbors' garbage. Now, can anybody out there, any of you wacko pro burgers, any of you, is there anybody here watching that's one of the wacko pro burgers? Can you explain to me why, a logical reason why he would be home throwing away his trash only into the neighbor's garbage can? Anybody? Right, yeah, he just washed his car into oblivion. I mean, hell, there's probably no paint left on any... Yeah. All right. There you go. There you go. Nobody has an answer. Right, exactly. I mean, exactly. He's wearing... I mean, we've told that many times, Peter. Yeah. He's wearing his freaking surgical gloves, going through the trash, taking his trash out, and amazingly, they didn't find his DNA profile in the house's trash where he was living for that exact reason. It worked. Except he's so stupid that he doesn't realize that his DNA would lead to his father anyways. Scrubbed it with his eyebrows. That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. He was sitting there. He's got his trash out and he's going like this. You know what's funny? His eyebrow must have been just covered with skin cells. Yeah. That's right. He didn't drive that 40-minute route prior, so he didn't have to ring. That doesn't make any sense, Ivan. You wouldn't be able to remember regardless. He might have even have done it. There's too many ways. I mean, I went out there and I kind of knew where I was going and turned the wrong way multiple times. But even driving it, you wouldn't know how to do it. You can't just, you know. It's not one of those places that you could memorize. There's too far of a distance between places and everything kind of looks the same. Well, they say the DNA. Okay, so here's how it all folds out, everybody. This is what you have to believe at a certain point. Is like once you realize the DNA is there and the white Elantra, and you don't want to believe that it's Kohberger, your next option then is to say it is all a setup. Okay, and then we have to believe, and now there's this massive conspiracy with the police department and all these other people, and it's just, you know, it's total garbage. All right, and that's where they're at. They can't get away from the fact that at that point now they have to call it a conspiracy, that the DNA was planted, and then they're going to say, wow, there's so many other ways that DNA could have got there. Then you say, but is it really likely that it got there a different way when you consider that there is the white Elantra missing his front license plate, is driving around, and then his phone turns on 28 minutes after the murders, driving south away from Moscow, Idaho? Does it make sense that it was just put there randomly by... Yeah, I like being on Court TV. I think he's a cool dude, man. You can see exactly why he gets, he just keeps doing And it's hard as hell to do what he does. All right, to do the shows where you're every night it's something else, and you really have to kind of know it pretty well to be able to have a conversation with people. So it's not easy. Well, thanks, Alley Cake. What do you mean back, Jerry? What do you mean? Jerry typed in back. What does that mean? Like your back gets hurt, or what's going on, man? Are you okay? Or I believe they'd already found a place to bury the knife, and yeah, he could have. It's somewhere early on that route back. Okay, well, back means what, Jerry? Nobody was wondering where you were, you know? No, like when you were gone, people didn't go, God, man, where's Jerry? I need Jerry's comments. Where are they? So, you know, there's no reason to say you're back. Just start typing in new questions or anything, because there wasn't a soul that was waiting, like, where's Jerry? Okay? All right. All right. Let's see. You guys are crazy, man. Oh my God. People are literally sitting around going, hey, where's Jerry? Nobody needed to know. I always think it's hilarious when people say that. Oh, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll be back in a little bit, everybody. I'm back. Hey. All right. Well, then why say anything, Jerry? Nobody cared. I mean, you just show up and you start talking and be part of, like everybody else, be part of the thing. Jesus. Oh my God. I've only commented on this 1,000 times. It's like it's hilarious when people do it. He didn't bury the knife. He just threw it in the trash. I don't know. Where'd the 17 minutes go then? I don't think that's what he did. There's like 16 minutes of missing time. We do? Scout? Oh. Everything's going well. All right, you guys, I'm going to go use the restroom, all right? I'm back, everybody. Look. As facts, thank you. Yeah, make sure to let me know. Okay, Kubi, let us know when you come back, man. I definitely need to. We're going to actually pause the show until you get back. Kubi, hurry up. Oh, man. I don't know. Maybe someday, Lisa. It's turned into a shit show. There's always whenever a select group of people start covering it, cases, then I don't even want to jump in. It turns into it's already garbage, you know. No, I always target those comments, Jerry. Like if somebody says, "I'm back, everybody," I always comment on those. And put a 1 if you've seen me comment on that like literally 55,000 times on the show. I mean, it's like a joke. It's funny to me. Are you okay? Misbehave? Are you sick? It's kind of like the running joke on, hey, look at that, NPC's back. All right. Yeah, I think it's hilarious myself. Yeah, definitely don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, there's always there is such a thing as always or never. Let's see. Your make me sick? What do you mean, your make me sick? What does that mean? Oh, that's right. You're one of the online trolls. Never mind. That's okay. You know, hey, listen, troll. If you come in and you're going to be a troll, can you at least spell better? It's just, you know, like go to school for a few minutes and learn something. You know, you can't even type a troll comment correctly. Your make me sick. Wow. Have a little bit better writing ability if you're going to troll. Yikes. Yeah, it's weird as I can't really, yeah. You know where they came from. You can have a mega pint. Hey, thanks so much, Janet Drums. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I'll bring Blue live up on the show tomorrow right here. How about that? What are the odds of that timing, everybody? Look at Blue comes home on donation night, you bastard. Well, you can ask away over there. I'm just excited. I think he'll probably be feeling better than he's felt in a long time. You know, he's probably had that water building up for a while on his lungs, or liquid, I mean, not water. Hey, thanks again, Janet Drums. Very kind, very kind. I think what we're going to do, we're going to go over that same document from yesterday that the prosecution put out on the Delphi case, just to do it with, you know, not at the last second. I want to read those 25 points again. They were so freaking awesome.
Drum, folded hands.
Hey, thanks, Art
Gray,
Reese.
folded hands. Drum.
I appreciate it. Did you watch my last video? It kind of goes over the whole thing, but it, like a little bit better detail. So if you go watch the last video that I made, it's got like 27,000 views, not too bad, but you can go check that one out and then try to work back. And I have a ton of different videos that really kind of solidify a whole bunch of different elements. There's 16 minutes of missing time when his phone pings at 4:48 south of Moscow. He should have been in that general area at 3:32, but he was there at 4:32, but he was there at 4:48. So there's time missing. And so where did he go on that route, or did he take a different longer route and just kind of merge back in further south? Don't know. I haven't had alcohol in a long. Sprite is the hardest drink in the house. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I got a lot of subs from Court TV's video on YouTube. I got like probably 700 new subs from that. We jumped right over the 117,000 and now are over halfway to 118. So that's pretty good. I like that. But the online trolls are doing their absolute damnedest to try to get as many people in there to not subscribe. One of them even tried to mention what Vinny said. Hey, everybody, subscribe to Great. Don't do it, they typed in. You know, it's like, can you imagine being that much of a lowlife of human beings? That's all you have to do? I mean, if you go over there, there's just a ton of hateful, spiteful, disgusting comments, and they're totally bogus. Yeah. You don't have to do a petition, you know. I've been on Court TV for 4 different cases, I think. I think it was Bright Again, Naomi Irion, Delphi, and Idaho 4. So that's pretty, you know, it's kind of a cool to have. It's not like a one-hit wonder sort of situation, right? There is surgery that can correct congenital heart failure. Oh, come on. I don't know about that. Yeah, send me a link to my email. I'd have to see that. You can't even fix it in humans. I'm not sure how you would fix it in a dog.
Heart failure in dogs.
Thanks, See-Through, and Dawn. Best news ever with Blue. Oh, yeah, yeah. Actually, last night when I went there, I thought we weren't going to be ever seeing him again. I mean, he was like, just kind of...
Best news ever with Blue.
But man, it was so cool when that awesome veterinarian came back there, and he was just like, yeah, no, I think, you know, we've got him, you know, we don't have his breathing issues under control, but he's doing better now. We think that Lasix will clear the, I mean, we were sort of, it was pretty sweet. I mean, I felt so much better. So even if he can, you know, another year and a half or something, that's totally worth the bank that you pay. You know, it's like, I mean, he's the best dog I've ever had by a mile. So, you know, it'll be sweet. Maybe I'll have him sit more in here now when I do the show, just to, you know, then he's just right there. Because since I've been in here, he's in another part of the house. You can just see him on the same camera here. Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't just increased either. It was like labored and increased, so it was sort of a double whammy. And it looked like when they looked at his gums later, they weren't that great. But he's doing a lot better, they said, and he's running around. You know, he's trying to jump in their arms, and he's eating food, and you know, breathing's better than it was by a mile. So. You know, they just want to stabilize them overnight again. You keep going and make sure that everything's going in the right direction, and then get some Lasix and bring them on home. Yeah, no, it's. I mean, you guys have seen Blue for 6 years, probably, right? I mean, more than that. You know, I always lose track of time. I think like 7 years I've been doing live streaming. Or 6.5 or something. But I was probably the only, I was one of only maybe 1 or 2 people that were always live streaming true crime. And now every Tom, Dick, and Harry starts up a true crime live stream because they got so much great stuff. You know, it's just so wild. I mean, there must be 1,000 people. So I appreciate you guys still watching my show. Yeah. So, well, they would say that about me, Ivan. Yeah. You know, here's the reality, everybody. Though. So, like, the thing is people. It's only when people come in and you say something like, "Oh, great, this is a load of crap. You're trying to trick," and then I go, and then I block them. And you know what they say elsewhere? They'll say, "I came in and had a different opinion than Gray, and he blocked me." You ever notice that? Have we ever blocked somebody just for saying, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Koberger, there's a good chance he didn't do it"? No. Nobody's ever been blocked for that. But if you came in and said, "You're dead wrong, Gray. Brian Koberger's innocent, and you're trying to sell people a narrative sold to you by the cops," yeah, you're going to get blocked at that point. You get it? I mean, it's just, that's not an opinion anymore. It's an attack right out of the gate. Yeah, look at Ivan Victor's even here, for God's sakes. You're always sewing? Man, I should open up a panel, Trish. I could do a panel, and you could be up in the upper left-hand corner knitting. It's perfect. Or sewing. And we can get 8675309 to come up and fill one of the windows. She could be doing her crochet. Yeah. Pets through the years. Didn't think I could love again when we lost our Dylan. And Nancy brought me Stevie. Best thing in the world. Yep, there you go. See? Hey, Lillian, how's it going? Well, then Nikki Zibs will be up in there crocheting, too. Yeah. Yeah, Zozo sometimes, like, just bashes me in the comments. And she's still here. That says it all. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, look at Jerry still here, for God's sakes. Yeah, no, it's true. It's that's right. That's right. All right, what do we got here? Let's do the missing Kaelyn Phillips. I think Zozo sent that over. Yeah, I don't know where they were exactly in here, but it's pretty crazy. Oh yeah, I made it a Word document right here. So I think this is the mother made a oops. Yeah, well, it shouldn't be called true crime for other people, but I think true crime is exactly what we do here. Okay? So true crime should have its genre, and then people like the clown and the guy from Scotland and like 95% of the rest of them should be in something else called, you know, crama or some bullshit. You know, call it BS crime. Something like that. Yeah, true joke. I think that's probably it. Because those people don't care at all about really the reality of a case. They care about trying to trick people to watch as many of their videos as possible. Yeah. So anyways, here is the, there's this missing girl. Let me show you, here's a picture of her right here. Well, before we do that though, what do you guys think of my, you might not have noticed this in the thumbnail though. But look at that, look at this. Look at that, I didn't even realize how awesome, if you just rotated that around, what does this look like right here? It looks like a baseball cap with the curved bill, right? And then you've got the two sunglasses. And look at that, right on, and there it is, Richard Allen's drool on his sweatshirt looks just like he's got a baseball cap and sunglasses on. Isn't that amazing? I think it's real. Man, let's do a whole video, a show on that. That they actually... Okay, well, send me an email, CA500. But I mean, you know, what's the surgery's probably like? This is probably for like celebrities, where it's like $1 million and all. No, can't you see the curved bill right there? Look at right there, the curved bill of a hat. Then there's the hat back here, and then that's the forehead. Just kind of squint your eyes, forehead. Then the sunglasses, the nose is right here. And then the mouth would be right down there, right? Oh, man! It's right there. You can see it. No, what do you mean you give up? Just email it to me, see-through. And thank you for your super chat, but I don't have a place to write it down, or I don't even know what you're saying. So why don't you send me an email with the link on it? I'm not sure why you're saying you give up. You know, yeah, people get frustrated way too fast like that. It's just weird. It's almost like just a total waste of time. A white cat with a black collar and French hat. Man, you guys don't see that? What I'm saying here? These are the sunglasses. They're sort of like the like locomotive hat, you know, like you work for a, but it has a curved bill. Well, good. And that's this right here on his shirt. See this down here, this stain? That's exactly what that is. Isn't that amazing? All right. So a search has been underway since Monday for a 16-year-old girl who disappeared under mysterious circumstances at Fort Yargo State Park in Winder. I think I'm in the right place here. Yeah, Winder, Georgia. Yeah, okay. The teen's mother fears her child may have been abducted. Yeah, it kind of has a feeling of that. According to the Find Kaelyn Phillips Facebook page that was created to spread the word about the disappearance. Winder police reported that Kaelyn Phillips was last seen about 1:30 a.m. Monday at the campground at Fort Yargo, a 1,816-acre park that borders the city of Winder. The girl's parents, Kane and Misty Phillips, and their 3 daughters parked their RV at the state park on January 22nd. On Sunday, Misty Phillips took a plane from Atlanta to London on a work-related trip, according to her post. Hours later, she reported her husband called to say that Kaelyn was missing and he had called Winder police. When my husband woke up on Monday morning, he took the dogs out and realized the door to the back area where the girl's bathroom is located was ajar, and items from the bathroom were on the ground outside. See, that part was makes it a little bit. No, I don't care, Sandy. Anyways, the it's kind of strange. Like the stuff that's outside makes it seem like they're like something happened. I mean, why would she pull stuff out and put it on the ground? Misty Phillips said in a message to the Athens Banner Herald that she was on her flight to return to Georgia late Tuesday. So she was all the way in London. I wonder what the hell she was doing over there. I mean, that's like London, England, or... Misty Phillips said in a message to the Athens Banner Herald that she was on her flight to return. Let's see. Winder police did not return... Did not return calls regarding the case by Kane Phillips. Said Tuesday he has called the Georgia Bureau of Investigation twice to seek their assistance. However, the GBI can only enter the case if requested by, all right, we'll try it, Winder, okay, police. Tracking dogs were brought to the park on Tuesday to assist in the case, according to Phillips. Yeah, I know. You guys keep saying it. Does it really matter that much, though? I mean, how important is that part of it? In the wake of their daughter's disappearance, the Phillips have mounted measures to get the word out, from passing out flyers to seeking help from various media outlets to gain more news coverage. The parents reported that none of their daughter's possessions were taken that night, including her purse, medications, clothing, laptop, or cell phone. I wonder if she was... I mean, that's just weird. And they... I think they even looked at her phone. They also contacted the FBI, and that her parents and friends have come to Winder to assist with the search. Kaelyn is one of the smartest, kindest, and most loving humans we all know. She's 5'4", 140 pounds, and possibly wearing glasses and white Puma shoes. If you have any information, call 470-201-9914. Yeah, so now let me read the Word document. Anyways, there are not any updates or changes in the investigation yet. We are family that lives full-time in an RV, and we travel. It gives us more quality time with our daughters. We arrived at Fort Yargo State Park in Winder, Georgia on January 22nd, 2024 to visit my parents for a few weeks. My husband and daughter drove me to the airport on Sunday, January 28th to drop me off for a work trip. I arrived in London Monday, January 29, 2024 at approximately 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time. My husband called me at approximately 10 a.m. to tell me Kaelyn was missing. The last time her dad or her sister seen her, or saw her, as most people would say, was around 1 a.m. when Kaelyn was cleaning her sneakers. They were all up waiting to hear I arrived safely, which is what we all do if any of us travel. When my husband woke up on Monday morning, he took the dogs out and realized the door to the back area where the girls' bathroom is located was ajar, and items from the bathroom were on the ground outside. My husband and other daughters could not find Kaelyn in her bed. He immediately called the police. The Winder Police Department immediately arrived and started search efforts. They did a data dump of her phone and her empty-handed. So that means she wasn't communicating with somebody. Now, I guess if she was using Snapchat or something, they wouldn't really be able to know. There was a strange call between 1 and 2 a.m. This has been disproven, this part, but for a minute it seemed like it was. There was a strange call between 1 and 2 a.m. from a male who was able to sell some story and gain access to the park by obtaining the gate code. The gate the person used does not have cameras or timestamps. This person, from what I was told, is also wanted for other warrants, and Kaelyn and our family have no knowledge or ties to this person. So that was like, oh my God, but it sounds like, I think it's in this one here. We just spoke to the police, who stated they cleared the person that came into the park. Allegedly, he wanted to sneak in a shower. We have been begging for dogs since 11 a.m. on Monday and got a runaround. Thank God for the people in this channel who have dogs there now. Someone else has a daughter that was at the park Sunday and seen someone in all black and with a black backpack lurking. We shared that with police too, and the location. We asked police why they will not let the GBI in, and detectives said, don't you think if they wanted to help we would let them? So a runaround, non-answer. You know, I always wonder why does it always take this turn of events, like this type of narrative against the police in almost every one of these cases? It's so weird. I mean, I would suggest, like, give it a, you know, they might be doing something and they might not be. I mean, who knows? But it's always, it gets so negative so fast a lot of times. It's strange. I mean, I guess if it was your kids, you might feel that way, but at the same time, almost every single missing person case, the original narrative is like, the police aren't doing anything. They're not doing, you know, it just goes on and on and on. The person, from what I was told, is also wanted for, okay, yeah, this says, Kaelyn has made friends in our travels at a military base we spend 3+ months at per year, and has friends in Tennessee, but no info came in from that. At this time, they are doing forensic preview of her laptop to just ensure they have any potential evidence. Kaelyn's purse, medications, ID, clothes, laptop, phone, and all other possessions were not taken or touched. There are a lot of theories. Did she hear a noise outside and open the door to look? And maybe this person with a warrant was outside and took her if he was trying to get into a vehicle or something. Did someone knock on the door and she opened not knowing her dad was already in bed, and no longer by the fire outside? Did one of her friends tell someone about our travel plans and they shared, and now traffickers have her and lured her outside? Did she have a social media account that she did not tell us about and then started being groomed and that person abducted her from our home? The list of possibilities is endless and our minds are running wild, but we do know for sure that she did not go willingly. At this time, we are also speaking to the friends she met at the military base, and police are looking for the other individual they told us that gained entry. Now, they already found him, though. We have also been in contact with the GBI as well, and they have offered their full support to the local police if the local police invite them. I have called every news place I can. My family have come in and printed flyers and passed them out to everyone in the area and all gas stations. Kaelyn is one of the smartest, kindest, most loving humans we all know. Kaelyn still gives me foot rubs and stays up talking with me all night. Yeah, just it doesn't seem like she left like willingly, just based on the way it sounds. Especially when there's a bunch of the stuff in the bathrooms outside and all of her stuff's at home, including her phone. I mean, almost nobody does that. I thought she was 16. She 14? I don't even remember now. She's 16. It says right here. Yeah, so I guess we could just take a look at the park. So I think this is how you get into the park. But you have to go through this gate here. And then once you get in there, this is where the... like I don't think... I don't know if this is just another place over here, but... I think it's this direction here that you head into the camping spots. You know, I think then you can kind of get up on these different roads here. Yeah, let's see what it looks like right there. Yeah, see these campgrounds are up here, right? Yeah, there's sex offenders everywhere. So when you say, is there sex offenders in the area? Yeah, there's millions. I mean, no matter where you look, they're all over the place. So it could be right, you know, in this area here. I mean, just to get a look at what it looks like. I mean, there's tons of these 360-degree cameras. And there you go, guys. If you guys want to help reach that goal tonight, that'd be great. Almost there. Then we just sort of coast in, you know. It's right there. So look what it looks like out there. It's pretty creepy, really. Not sure why that one was out in the middle of the... let's just pick one of these. Yeah, I wanted to know which lot they stayed in, but we don't really have that information. I mean, look at that. I think that's kind of spooky out there, you know. But I mean, this is like 1 in the morning. What's she going to be doing? She's not walking out in here. Yeah, so this is Fort Yargo right here. So I think they're probably in this area right there. They seem to have some photo. Maybe we can try to find something. Let me that's the article that had the pictures. Oh, this is another one. Hey everybody, just updated as several of you have reached out to ask how to help. I'm a friend of Misty's and currently at the campgrounds. The police are here and searching. They have asked that we do not do our own foot searches, that we do not do our own foot searches to preserve the area for anything that might lead us to help us locate her. We'll update as soon as we can. The support and willingness to hit the ground running means so much to the family. Yeah, so this picture here is the only one that I could they're just not good enough. Because it doesn't really indicate it. Let me see if I can find at least the oh yeah. Okay, so that shot's, well, is it that one? It's weird. Not sure. It's kind of like just a lake here. Okay, I think that's probably it. Yeah. Strange. Yeah, it's a weird one. That little picture they got there. But, you know, that one just kind of looks like it could be anywhere in here. I might have to go back and look at that. I gotta figure that out. So there's a little thing that juts out. Yeah, let me go to the different time of year. Maybe that'll make a difference. Yeah, It's so crazy. Yeah, I mean, this should be kind of easy because of the, but it's, okay, maybe that's it right here. Okay. So I think this is it, and this right here is going to be populated now. Yeah, there we go. Here we go, watch. Okay, move back. There we go. So that's the image there. I don't know why that took so long to find that, but that's this one right here. See that? So, I'm not really sure what they're filming there, because the Fort Yargo is over here. I just don't know where they are at specifically, you know? So if you take a look at this picture right here, I mean, right there's this little like white sort of paint on the ground, making, you know, like, I don't know what it's actually it's saying or doing, but let's see if we can find that. And the thing is, I don't think there's street view anywhere out here, so you'd have to be able to see it from the air. And that would give you at least a hint of where they might be. Anyway, maybe we can find a better time of year, though. Okay, that would be a good one. Is anybody there? You guys are... Nobody's typing. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. She's going for a wave, everybody. Help Allie Cake with the wave so we can get to the goal tonight. Just the minimum goal up there. That'd be great. Maybe there's more pictures somewhere. Let's see. I think that's the one I'm already looking at. Thank you, Sandy Shirley. Yeah, well, he's still over there. We'll see how he's doing in the morning.
Right now, Winder police need your help, folks. They desperately need your help finding a missing teenager. They have now shut down Yargo State Park tonight in the search for 16-year-old Kaelyn Phillips. Police say that she was last seen at a campsite there around 1:30 yesterday morning.
No. Thank you, Sandy Shirley, Jessica Schubach, and Peter. Site number 2.
Glad blue is better.
I put a post in there asking. I don't know if anybody answered it or not, but. Okay, here we go. And there we go. So this would be the camp site here. Thank you, Broken Scout and Quietly Frozen. The coolest name in YouTube history. So it was like camp spot number 2, or yeah, I guess the other ones are already like their yurts set up. And I think we know what the yurts are. This is that. That's what this is, right? So it kind of goes out. And then man, what
Riding Alex wave, surfer, ocean
I think
wave.
this is it right here. This is what their map sucks. Where's the fishing dock?
I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave.
Thanks, Sirius Black. Is that the fishing dock?
Ocean wave, ocean wave.
Let's see. Party park. Boat ramp parking. Man, this doesn't look anything
Ocean wave,
like
ocean
it.
wave, ocean wave.
Man, so this is do they have it like that? Maybe? It's just horrendous. Look at the
Riding
map
Alex wave of
here.
grey, ocean wave, ocean wave.
I mean, it's not even, that water doesn't even look the same if you go north-south. That looks, okay, that looks like what we're looking at here. So is this just a small chunk of something? Like, what is this? Okay, so maybe that's just like a smaller section. Weird. But anyways, I think the camping areas are right over here. You can see them. Like, see how there's RVs in the woods there? See? Okay, maybe that's the yurts. Oh, okay, there you go. There's the yurts, and then normally water comes in right here. Okay. Look at that. So those are those yurts or whatever, and then right there there's a creek that comes in, and that should be right there, and there's no water there right now, but there's that little point here, and then okay, so yes, these are where all the campsites are. There's a campsite parking, and then if it's number 2, it's, let's see, like right in here, I think. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's right here, this one. So this is number 2. Alright, there you go. Alright, we almost got to the goal, you guys. $12 and some odd cents short. Alright, so that is number 2. This is number 1 right here. And this is number 2. And, you know, I guess it would be something like that, an RV, and then out the back door. So somewhere in this general area, is there a, there's no 360-degree camera right there. Now there's a couple down here, though. Yeah, so those are those yarts. Okay, yeah, that one matches their map there better. That one. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's too, you can't get lost here. Let's put it that way. You would be walking past people, and then there's a perimeter out here that, you know, you're not going to get lost. It's impossible. Okay? It's not true, Gray. One time I got... What I'm saying is she can't be permanently... Well, if she just walks straight for an hour, she'd be walking by something at some point. Well, Gray, what if she just did loops around the lake many times?
Right now, Winder police need your help, folks.
know.
They desperately need your help finding a missing teenager. They've now shut down Yargo State Park tonight in the search for 16-year-old Kaelyn Phillips. Police say that she was last seen at a campsite there around 1:30 yesterday morning. There's a $2,000 reward for anyone with information. Right now, we have a crew.
All right. It was the 24th or something. Just a couple days ago. Yeah, I think somebody took her. I mean, when you got stuff just outside the back, unless she planned it to make it look like that, I mean, that seems a little too high-tech for a 16-year-old. And she left all of her stuff there, phone and everything. Yeah, yeah. But if it was something like domestic, it seems like one of the other sisters would have known something happened. But yeah, you never know if something domestic happened, you know. And it's just sort of this cover-up, like something happened when the mother was away, and she just didn't. Yeah, the other daughters didn't see, I don't know. I really can't say, but it's just one of those things where it is kind of coincidental there, isn't it? Well, I mean, the sisters all saw her. Why would they make something up? I've camped in some really out-of-the-way places before and should have been a lot more aware of animals. Yeah. Huh. Right, but there isn't, I don't know why you'd have, your mind would be wandering that much on this one, Zozo. There's really just, the mom took off and there's stuff outside the back of the thing, and it looks like she's not away on her own. I mean, we could sit here all day and invent stuff, but we don't have enough information at this point. Now, what is? I mean, at this point, there really isn't a ton of information to go on. Other than it looks like she is gone, and she didn't take any of her own possessions with her. And then it looked like there could have even been a struggle when she was in the bathroom or something, because there was stuff from the bathroom outside. But what does that mean? I don't know. We haven't been told that either. Yeah, I thought it was weird that they had an entry gate into a campsite with a code that you type in. That just seems weird, let's see, it says the state park located in Winder, Georgia, situated between Athens and Atlanta. Available activities. It's got a public beach. Available activities at Fort Yargo include geocaching, hiking, mountain biking, disc golf, boating, including John boat, pedal boat, and canoe rentals. So it sounds like there's a public beach or something. So the rest of it, what is that? Private? So maybe you can rent spots there, like a campground where you rent space, and that's why you have a keypad and something like that, where it's your spot during that time you're renting it. The Creek village known as Snowden was located near what is now Athens and Church Streets in Winder. Not Fort Winder. Fort Yargo. A park pass is required for all vehicles. For reservations, inquiries, please call. So you do make reservations. But I guess it's sort of interesting that you have to have a passcode. I've never heard of that. That's kind of nice, though, actually. It's like you get a reservation, they probably email you the passcode, then you get to go in and camp and feel somewhat secure. Of course, that's not what happened here. Unless, I mean, there's always a possibility she took off with somebody, met her in the back door, and she left in a hurry, maybe heard something, and didn't want to get caught leaving, so just took off. I mean, we don't know. Made for today and can be made up to 13 months. Reservations have been made for today and made up. Reservations can be. Oh, these are different things. Well, I don't really. Just kind of cottages. Camping. The park provides 40 tent and trailer sites with water and electrical hookups and 12 walk-in campsites with centrally located water. There are 3 comfort stations, hot showers, and 2 dump stations. Well, I don't know, you guys. I don't really, we could sit here all day and just invent. We need more information again. This is one of those ones that doesn't have a lot of information. I mean, we know what we know, and I guess we'll have to wait. And maybe they'll do a press conference, then we'll have extra information. But, I have it marked off as site number 2, if that's the site, etc. I mean, we can sit there and ask questions over and over and over again, but, they're just, hey, what kind of fish do they got in there? They got any big snapping turtles? Let's see. Athens, March. Tell you more about what, Christy? No idea what you're talking about. While no one is supposed to be able to bring in a vehicle after dark without a code, people often did walk in and out throughout the night. How do you know? I mean, who are you? I haven't seen you make any other comments. Well, we now know that having a code may mean jack crap, depending upon how this plays out. But, of course, anyone can pay to camp and get their own code. Right. I think it's just better to bring, be prepared with firearms. Have your firearm with you or something. Yeah. Don't worry about the codes. Algae blooms. Awesome. Oh, good for you. All right. Maybe say that. She used to work there, she stated. Okay. You should get scent dogs in the woods and along the shore. Does anybody know specifically which campsite she was in? Anybody? The water is pretty close to her camp. If it was number 2, it's pretty close. But why would she be going over there? I mean, it looks like there's a drop off. I don't know how steep that is, but. That one was supposed to be in the middle of the lake, and it wasn't. All right, freaks, let's try to get to the goal. We're almost there. $12 away. Will we do it? Anything else? Hey, Christy, how about I do the show the way I feel like it? Okay? Where do these people come from? Just block people like that. I'm just not interested in trying to figure these people out. Okay? I don't want to. No. Didn't you read the comment up there? The one that just got deleted? Christy Smith. It's some weirdo named Christy Duval, who thought she could run the show and told me to move on. But I am about to move on, but when you tell me to move on, it's not going to work out well for you. Hey, see how mean Gray is? What an asshole he is to his subs. Did you hear what he said? I don't know who Christy Duval is, everybody. Never seen her in my life. But when you come on to somebody's show and you tell them to move on, they're just not going to last, okay? If you don't think that's a rude as hell thing to say on somebody else's show, then there's something wrong with you. Do you understand that? I think every one of you would think exactly the same thing if you read the same thing. Hey, thanks so much, Quietly Frozen. The coolest name in YouTube history. There might be a low. Let me see if I unplug this. Listen. See, it's gone now. I have this monitoring speaker that makes the sound. That's right. Go! And like usual, guys, if we get to 300, you know what that means. 5 memberships are given out. All right. Anyways, I am moving on now. I don't have any more to say on this. Oh, I did want to read this article on Koberger here from March 3rd. That I don't know, it seemed like it had a little extra information in it from Pennsylvania, and it was sent to me in my email by one of the freaks. We did just reach the goal, Sharon. Now, if we reach the secondary goal, then I give away the 5 memberships. Anyways, the Monroe County District Attorney's Office sheds light on the Idaho murder suspect arrest after search warrant is released. This is kind of what we were talking about earlier. We're learning more about the investigation on the Chestnut Township man charged in the killings of 4 University of Idaho students. An unsealed search warrant reveals more about what police were looking for at Brian Koberger's home and what they found on him when he was arrested in December. It's been 2 months since Brian Koberger was arrested at his parents' home. Now, for the first time, Monroe County officials are sharing what he was doing when police found him. Monroe County First Assistant Michael Mancuso says, Mr. Koberger, as with any other criminal defendant, is presumed innocent. Yes, we all know that. Until proven guilty in a court of law. So that remains the case. But certainly, yeah. So as soon as you say but, you're reversing what you just said, right? It's like, man, I think you're one of the greatest people on the planet, but. And that what that really means is, I think you're a big pile of crap, and here's the reason why. But certainly for the investigation and the interest of the investigators in building the case layer by layer, that was a significant find. Was it criminal defendants? What was? What are you talking about? What was a significant find? The search warrant confirms Brian Koberger was under police surveillance for several weeks before he was arrested, and officials believed he was in possession of items related to the murder of 4 University of Idaho students. Police raided his family home within Indian Mountain Lake Estates in Chestnut Township on December 30th, just before 1:30 in the morning. The warrant shows he had on him at the time a silver flashlight. So I guess this is like on his body. So think about this. Like, okay. So on him at that exact moment was a silver flashlight, 4 medical style gloves, a large t-shirt, a large black sweatshirt, a pair of black and white size 13 shoes, a pair of black socks, black shorts, Under Armour, and black boxers Under Armour, and they took a cheek swab from him. Now you don't have to watch. Yeah, it's weird. Somehow, like they're monetized some of these live streams now, but they don't really. I mean, I don't know where the revenue goes because I haven't never seen anything about like how much ad revenue a live stream makes, and it doesn't feel like it ever shows up anywhere. Hey, thanks WNC Granny. My internet keeps going out, so you just skip the ad though. Quietly Frozen. I mean, as soon as it pops up, just skip it. Yeah. I don't know what the rhyme or reason. I know it is kind of weird in a live stream, right? Because it's like you're talking, and I don't go like this. Hey, everybody. Here's what it doesn't work for with you guys. Well, everybody, the search warrant This is PIR, Portland International Raceway, with the biggest things at the Pinewood Drag. We have Rod Laver, a retired astronaut with his hydroelectric car. It's guaranteed to rip of the road right in front of your face. We also have Jim Hansen with his Beavermobile, the only car that knocks down trees at 200 miles an hour. Trials from 6 and 7. Be there. Firm's Brian Koberger was under police surveillance for several weeks before he... Yeah, it doesn't work like that, right? You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't work like that, you guys.
So sorry I'm late. Good news about Blue. Hi freaks.
What I should do is, I think there's a way that I can time the ads. They have this thing where you can say when you want to put them there. So I could be doing my live stream or something, and then up at top it says, here's a good time. Here, let's see this one. Tell me if this works, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, oops. That didn't work. Okay, wait, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you get one? Did an ad pop up right then? I just there's a thing here. It says delay ads for 10 minutes. That's pretty sweet. Oh, you got one, B Hills? So some people got them. Okay. Sandra Turner got one. Yeah, that's sweet. Okay. You got a poker game. So some people got them right at that moment. Oh, sweet. Man, I'm gonna just start loading you suckers out. I'm gonna go like this. Like gonna be like, hi, my name, PIR, Portland Internet. You know, just gonna go on and on and on, and then, hey, what's it? Another ad. Man, it's gonna be great. It's gonna sound like, almost like I'm. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious. It was really. Let me just try it one more time, okay? You can go ahead and. I just want to test it to see if it really works. Cause I paused ads for 10 minutes, but I think this might override it. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. All right. Tell me if you got one or not. Hey, thanks, Jared. Appreciate it. No? Okay, so maybe they... Okay, Lisa got one. Okay, so it's not everybody then, I guess. Affleck? Quietly Frozen got Affleck. Did the duck show up on the goose or whatever the hell that thing is? It must be a duck, I think. Oh, wait. All right. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Weird, Nikki Zubs. Okay, well, anyways, I guess that's an option sometime, you know. There's also this other button that says, as soon as you click it, it said, ads delayed 10 minutes. So it has a countdown. So nobody can get one in those 10 minutes, I guess. But then it seems like you override it when you hit that button. All right, anyways, back down to this. This is regarding Brian Koberger here. All right, so this search warrant confirms Brian Koberger was under police surveillance for several weeks before he was arrested, and officials believed he was in possession of items related to the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students. Police raided his family's home within Indiana. Not Indiana. Within, what did that say? Within Indian Mountain Lake Estates in Chestnut Township on December 30th. He got pulled over in Indiana, though. And also, hey Jared, what part do you like the most? I always like hearing from the new freaks, as we call them. So we just went through. We had all those items on. Mancuso says Mr. Koberger was found. This is the part I was like, a really good description from this Mancuso guy. Mr. Koberger was found in the kitchen area, dressed in shorts. So he was wearing the shorts that we're reading about right here, the black shorts and the boxers, and a shirt, and wearing latex medical type gloves, which are right here, and apparently was taking his personal trash and putting it into a separate Ziploc baggie. Ziploc baggies, right? Mancuso tells us that Discovery cleared up another part of the investigation. A trash pull that was done days before recovered DNA profiles, but not from him, only from his family members. And you know why? Because he was taking his personal trash and putting it into separate Ziploc baggies and throwing it into the neighbor's garbage. So it literally proves that it worked what he was doing. Mancuso says it could very explain some of the other aspects of the case from Idaho. Some of the lengths. Man, that's a good point there too, right? I mean, just think about it like that. Look at what he was doing in that kitchen. So remember how I've told you guys? I'm sick of yeah, Jared. TikTok is just filled, and YouTube is too. So I'm sort of a dinosaur, really, on YouTube. I'm even different than the detectives that you see on YouTube because they entertain the conspiracy theories. I'm almost like a unicorn, to be honest with you. It's strange. It's weird, too, because what I do is what everybody should be doing. This is how true crime is supposed to be right here. But isn't that amazing? How many times have I told you guys about when Koberger, before he even went into the house, that he probably set something up where when he got back to the car, he could take his bloody clothing off and put it into bags. And it's funny because I haven't really ever thought, oh yeah, these are sort of connected in a way like that. So think about the thought process of a guy sitting around in a kitchen, sorting through the trash, putting all of his clothing into different baggies, and throwing it into the neighbor's garbage can. And a person that would do that, what measures would they take at the house before and after the murders happen? Think about that for a minute. All right, guys, we could do another $22. We're doing the 5 memberships. All right. And that I think that's a pretty cool statement in there. It could very explain some of the other aspects of the case from Idaho, some of the lengths that a person would go to avoid having their DNA left behind when they know or should have known. And guess what? Isn't it amazing now, when you think about it, that that knife sheath just had that little tiny bit of DNA on the button? See? Yeah, right. Quietly Frozen. Yeah, this guy, the schooling. But look at that little bit of DNA. I know, that's the thing. That's why I always try to get people, the Broken Scout, to say, I always try to get them to explain to me why Koberger was sorting the trash out. I want them to explain it because they can't. There is no rational... That's one of those ones that if you try to explain rationally, you look like a goofball, okay? Because there's nothing, and people would see right through it. So you can ask... I might make a video, just the shortest video you could ever imagine, And it's purely about asking a question. And I want to see where anybody comes up with a rational answer to that question. Okay? But I might lead into it. And I think that would be a video where it's just, I want you to put a rational explanation in the comment section as to why Bryan Kohberger was sitting at a table, sorting his garbage into separate plastic bags, wearing gloves, and placing them into other garbage cans. All right? Thank you. I think that'd be a good one. Maybe like an 8-minute video or something. Kind of leading up to it. Like you could say something like, as we know, Bryan Kohberger's vehicle, okay, as we know, a white Elantra missing its front license plate that matches Bryan Kohberger's white Elantra exactly, was parked outside the residence of 1122 King Road, where Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle were all murdered. And the car sat there between 4:08 and 4:20, during which time a knife sheath was left at the crime scene on Madison Mogan's bed that had Bryan Kohberger's DNA on it, therefore linking the white Elantra driving around to Bryan Kohberger himself. And then, weeks later, when Bryan Kohberger went home, and after being pulled over twice, he was arrested in his kitchen in shorts, a t-shirt, wearing gloves, sorting through the trash, putting his own trash into separate Ziploc baggies, and placing those Ziploc baggies into the neighbor's garbage cans. Can anyone out there please explain to me why Bryan Kohberger would do that? Oh, there you go. Come on. That's like, anybody? See, these people don't dare show up on shows like this because they can't answer it. Yeah. Don't you think that would work right there? And here's the thing, is the fact that he was doing that is because he was paranoid. That doesn't explain it, Jared. So you just you missed the boat there, man. Think how many days he was doing that till they showed up to arrest him. Yeah, he was doing it all the time. I guess his sister was seeing him doing that. And the reason Kohberger was paranoid is because of this. They already had published that they were looking for a white Elantra. Then he's driving home and he gets pulled over twice in Indiana. And then when he got pulled over in Indiana, he felt in his mind that they were on him, and they must have had his DNA somehow. See, saying that it was trash night doesn't help. Because let me ask you this, Jared. When last time it was trash night at your house, did you sit in your living room and sort out your garbage from either your roommates or your parents' house, put your garbage into separate plastic bags, and then take the garbage and go over to your neighbor's house and put the garbage into their garbage cans? That's what the question is. And I think what you're saying is, why was he doing that night? That's not what I'm asking. I guess I'm going to have to be more clear on the question. I'd probably say something like, why then was Bryan Kohberger sorting through his trash to place his garbage into Ziploc bags and then placed it into the neighbor's garbage can? All right, so I think that's better. Okay. I wonder if BK was thinking about the IgG search capability. I don't know. He doesn't seem very aware of that kind of stuff. He seems stupid. He didn't even think, well, if they got my DNA and they get my parents' trash, that'll still lead to me because it'll be my parent. See, he doesn't even know what IgG or anything about it. I think Brian Koberger is an idiot. Okay? Well, how could he get into the doctorate program, Gray? I don't know. He probably faked his way through, man. You know, the bullshitters like that, the sociopaths, the... Who the hell knows, man? Let's see, Mancoos. It could explain some of the other aspects of the case from Idaho. Some of the lengths that a person would go to avoid having their DNA. So he's admitting here, almost like he has inside knowledge, that there's a lack of DNA at the crime scene behind when they know or should have known that there was an investigation underway. As far as the other items, 2 could play a big role in court. Mancuso says, I think we read this the other day, I would be keen on the shoes, the size of the shoes, comparison to any shoe impressions that might have been recovered at the scene, that sort of thing. But we're told the cheek swab is key, Mancuso says. Something that they could compare to the DNA of, I believe, the snap button. Right. Well, yeah, of course. See, the DNA led to Brian Koberger's house through his father, or through Koberger, and they knew where he lived. And then the DNA they found in the trash was his father's, and therefore that was enough to get a warrant on Brian Koberger himself. Then they got a swab of his cheek and then compared it to the original sample on the button of the knife sheath, and it was a 100% match. And that means 5.1 octillion to 1. And if you remember, it was something like you'd have to have 4 centillion planet Earths or something. It was ridiculous. I mean, he placed his trash in the neighbor's even. Right. See, that's what I mean. How did the... I am going to make a video where I hope to God that the wacko pro-burgers out there answer the question and come up with something that literally makes sense, that people don't have to type in LOL right below your comment. Well, Gray, he was just really... Oh, wait, that doesn't work. Well, Gray, he was... Well, that doesn't work either. Well, Gray, he... Well, that doesn't work either. Forget it. Hey, thanks, WNC Granny. Look at that, you guys. We're only 2 point something away. $2 away from the free 5 memberships. Isn't that true, though, Zozo? I mean, how in the hell will these wackos answer it? They're sitting around right now just thinking really hard. I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm just going to sit and just say it. Might even be just 5 minutes long. And then I'll let them know that I am putting together the large... Hey, look at that. Oh, look at that. We got the Broken Scout and I think Dream of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches got to the... And thank you very much up there, WNC Granny and the Broken Scout and Dream of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. And here we go. Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, I spent 2 weeks testing the barrel.
All right, here we go. And welcome, Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. Kim DiMaggio. Lisa Taylor, as in Taylor Avenue. Zoe413. I thought you already were a member there, Zoe413. And Olden One. All right. Excellent. So again, everybody, can anybody type in something rational that doesn't imply extreme guilt on Brian Koberger's part of why he was separating? Because think about it like this, everybody. So for the people who think Brian Koberger's innocent, this is what Brian Koberger's mind should have been like. He's just driving home. He got pulled over twice. He would have no clue that there was something he did because he didn't do anything, right? So he would just go home and he'd be like, he probably wouldn't even think twice about it. He'd be at home doing something. But that's not what was going on here. He knew exactly why they were following him home, or pulling him over, and why he should be concerned about his DNA. Right, everybody? Isn't there any common sense in that? Huh? Yeah, you guys are... let's see. He might claim he was searching for something that he lost, but placing in neighbors he would say his family's trash was full. Huh? He might claim he was searching for something that he lost. Yeah, he doesn't have an answer. Now that's... come on. He'd been doing it for weeks. So, no, that doesn't work either. His sister even saw him doing it, remember? That's just normal behavior for Koberger. That's one of the excuses I've heard. Right. He's quirky, everybody. He's quirky. So here's the thing, I would understand. I could actually buy into somebody if they were, like they wanted to bag up there and they still threw it in their own garbage can. Right? You're just kind of weird, like you don't want your garbage mixing with other, But instead you put it into your neighbor's garbage can. That means you don't want your DNA found in your garbage can. Yeah, that's even kind of weird, right? Like, why would you want your DNA mixed with others? Wouldn't you want it mixed with your own family's DNA? I mean, wouldn't that be great? Well, no, Gray. See, he really thought highly of himself. So he wanted his DNA to stick out if it was ever found in the trash somewhere on the junkyard. It would think, oh, look, it's just Koberger himself. But when it's with his family, he's just one of three other people there, and it's just... Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's just Brian being Brian, Yeah. And so I expect everybody to type LOL on comments like that. Mm-hmm. He'd been doing that since he was a little kid. He would sit at the kitchen table and pack up his DNA out of the garbage and put it in the Ziploc bags. It was always something really weird. I'll tell you what, I think he's... Then here's the thing. Then I think he is the killer just because he's that weird. Yeah, but that's not the... the whole thing is explain it away where it doesn't imply guilt or knowledge of his DNA being an issue in his world, okay? And that might be because he knows that he left that knife sheath there, if he left it there accidentally. That was rude of me. Huh? I don't get it. He's just a weirdo creep. If his attorney even tries to explain this, would be interesting. There isn't an explanation. They might say that's not what he was doing at the table, but I think his sister has already said that that's what he was doing. So, you know, he's not going to be able to get out of that. He might be able to say, well, when I got pulled over twice, I thought maybe police thought I did something somewhere, and I didn't know what it was, but God, no, there isn't a soul. Let me ask you guys, have you ever, have you been pulled over by a cop? Did it even cross your mind to then go home and collect your DNA, put it into plastic bags, and put it into your neighbor's garbage can? Was it even something that was remotely, even if you've been pulled over 4 times in a day, would you even think about your DNA? Would that even be in your, you'd be like, wow, what's going on? This is weird. You wouldn't think of your DNA, but you would if you just committed a quadruple homicide. For anything, Paulette. I mean, if you were just just you driving around, you're speeding, whatever you're doing, you got pulled over 4 times in a day for doing whatever. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Would you even think about your DNA? And the answer is no if you're being truthful. I got pulled over 2 times in one day 2 years ago, and I didn't do that, but I was pissed. Right, but did you go home, Timothy, and sort through your trash and put your garbage into Ziploc bags and place it into your neighbor's garbage can? And the answer is no. Right, yeah, I know. You didn't even think of it, right? I mean, it never even crossed your mind. Wow, they must have me on a bigger issue. Well, that's the thing, Gracie. Brian Koberger is a criminology student. So he's aware of the odds and why, and he thought to himself, they must think that I'm involved in something larger for them to have pulled me over twice today. Therefore, when I went home, he went home, he thought that he needed to collect his DNA. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, well, there you go, see? Like Weekend at Bernie's? And he did a major cleaning in the middle of the night. Yeah, I wish they had arrested him sooner so he wasn't able to keep cleaning that car over and over again, even though I think it was already pretty clean even after the night of the murders. I think he took the steps, because I think we could, you could try an experiment. I know it's kind of weird, but you could get a gallon of milk, right, and put it in the refrigerator and then set it next to your head and see if you can actually die of hypothermia. I'm just kidding. You remember how stupid that was? Oh, God. There was this case out there where somebody said that, Summer Wells, that she somehow passed away because her head was sitting on cold milk. Remember that? Wow. So we actually did a little, I think if you go back in the community section or a video somewhere, we had a contest where people sent in photographs with them sleeping with cold milk. That was awesome. Yeah. No, it's totally out there. Rational people wouldn't even discuss that. Timothy. We only thought of it as a joke, so we did a whole thing where people sent in photographs or video or images of themselves. Yeah. It was good times, good times. But I bet you could take surgical gloves and put, like, let's say you put ketchup on the surgical gloves, right? You know, it doesn't have to be all over, like you dip it in like Carrie, or, where her body looked like it was dripped in syrup. I mean, it's ridiculous. But like, let's say you put some, you have clothing on the outer, you have outer clothing on that has blood on it, right? And then you have surgical gloves. And let's say you have a plastic bag underneath your car. Could you take your clothing off, pull it up over your head, let's say, with the gloves on, and then take that item, put it in the plastic bags, and then kind of carefully hold the bottom of your gloves and pull your one hand out. Then you would take, maybe you have to use your fingers right here a little bit, and then pull your other hand out and put that in the plastic bag. Now your hands are very clean, but at that point you put on another set of gloves. Now it's covering any blood that was underneath there. Now both hands have gloves on them, and you can do this pretty quick. And interestingly, how he has 4 gloves in the kitchen here. So now you have your bloody outer clothing and your gloves in that plastic bag, and you also have an extra set of gloves that was maybe with the plastic bag that you're now switching on to your hands. Okay, so now you don't have the bloody outer clothing on, and maybe you have another set of shoes too. So you take your shoes off, put those in the bag too, slip into those other shoes, and maybe there's even like I don't really know, but I'm giving him about 2 minutes after he left that house, and 1 minute before entering. So 1 minute before entering the house, he leaves some items outside of his car. Then he goes down the hill into the house, kills all of the individuals in there, and then when he left, it took him 2 minutes or so to switch out, and he probably was wearing something that's easy to take on and off. Does that make sense? Anybody? Because I think you could really, really dramatically lessen the blood spatter in that car by taking some steps, and it looks like that's exactly what this guy does. No, I don't think so at all. Yeah, 4 in the morning, he killed everybody in there. He was just going to spend a minute or so doing that. If he got in that car, that whole car would have blood in it all over the place. Now, he could have also done something where he covered the seats with, all around with plastic, and maybe he just took his gloves off, and maybe his shirt off really quick on the way up. He took his shirt off and the gloves, and then he puts gloves on, sits on plastic, drives home. I mean, that's kind of crazy too, because if he got pulled over at that point, he'd just look, I mean, it's like Dexter driving down the highway. What's so funny, Jessica? I don't get it. Well, we just said that, Timothy. Now, I'm not shocked at all that there's no blood in it. We don't even know if there's no blood in the car. I mean, people just say that there's no blood in the car, but we don't know if there's no blood in the car. I think they may have found something in there that he missed. That was like an hour ago. What do you mean? Hey, say Dexter. What do I know what that means? I had a text, so it was late with my post. Oh, you guys, I tell you. A good mother, but there are so many who have done things I couldn't imagine doing to a stranger Yeah, I mean, everybody's believing every single thing that the defense has put out in this case. I don't. I think another telling thing is that Brian Kohberger is willing to languish in jail for another 1.5 years to get ready for trial, but he's innocent, everybody. You know, if he was an innocent person, he'd be like, "Yeah, let's go, man. Let's get going here. I didn't do a damn thing." Instead, he's got that little smirk on his face. He's so excited. He's so happy to be the center of attention. He's Brian, the K-Bar killer. You know, he's awesome. Gray, he's innocent until proven guilty, you bastard. I think he's guilty, man. 100%. I don't have any doubt in my mind. I don't sit around and go, "Well, what about the 300 Chrysler, Gray?" Well, it wasn't a 300 Chrysler. Hey, you wanna know something? I mean, I was working on something earlier. I'm trying to set it up, but I can't really find the right type of camera for 3D Studio Max. I thought I found it, but I don't know. Here, I'll show you. I bought a 2016 White Elantra, which looks almost identical to the 2015. And I mean a 3D model of it. And because they didn't sell a 2015. So I do have the 2016 White Elantra. And then I was kind of setting up a... I'll show you. Right here. All right, so I was trying to set up the surveillance camera shot. Okay, so here is the White Elantra over here when it's leaving, and then there's one over here. But people wonder why. I mean, that one's more perpendicular, but people always wonder, like, you know, how come the window looks a little different when it's over here? Look at the angle of this thing. It's way over here, and these are fisheye lenses, okay? So this is like number 52. This is 500. That's that little space. And I put this right on top of the model. See, I mean, the building. See, they're right there. I'm just trying to get like the general, and I know that the camera was right here underneath this part right there. It was right underneath there. And it was filming, you know, kind of out in this angle where you see the car coming around and then going like this, but it does turn around at some point. So you look at it like that, and that's sort of, you know, generally what that one video looked like, you know, when it pulls over right there. You just can't see this part of the car. Let me show something. It was White Elantra 2015 side view. I was looking at this one, I think. Was it that one, or let me see. Not that one. That's the... It's not even the right car. I'm not sure what year that is there. See, that window's a different shape on that one. See how it doesn't have that little angle? Let me move to a different... I think I was looking at like maybe this one or something. Yeah, so that window doesn't look, because of the way it's shot, it doesn't look quite the same because you're, you know, let me just see if I can make it so we can see. I'll make that bigger. Well, it doesn't really work like that. So let's just pretend that was like over there and I was looking through that. So you can see it now driving, but there's a wall that takes up almost the whole thing, but maybe not this. this part here, but it's not the, it's the different angle, and it's also a fisheye lens. So people keep saying, oh, it's a different kind of vehicle when it's driving around. But how can it be? It's the same car that was there at 3:30, and it's the same car that was driving at 4:07 and 40 seconds. There's just 2 other times where it comes by too. Yeah, it's not a Chrysler 300, everybody. It's insane. Let's see, where is it? I'm going to pull it up again. See, right over here, what people bitch about is, like right here, they can't see it, the shape of it. They don't think is the same, and that's really because how in the hell can you see anything? It's pixelated as hell, and sometimes it's like it looks perfect, and then all of a sudden it's like the pixelation, and it's in the dark over there as it's driving by, and it's ridiculous. But what you can say is this: like if you turn up the audio on this, listen to the sound here. Listen. Okay, there it goes. All right. And then here comes the next one. Watch how they sound exactly the same, each one. And watch the profile over here, exactly the same, watch. It's 100% the same. Right, so you do that one. Then you move all the way to the 357 one. Here it comes. Same exact sound. There's the profile. Same exact one. It's not higher, nothing. You got that. Then it came, then it drove back here, and it does the turnaround right there. But see, this is more perpendicular, but it's still at an angle looking at it. And you probably could see the front of the car right over here. It's hard to say though, it's hard to say. But anyways, it backs up, takes off. See though, it has the same engine sound, everything. Right? And then when it comes back again at 4:07, and here it comes. Now watch, you can see it moving a lot quicker, but listen again. Man, look at it hustling around this time. Just boom. Look at same profile up there. Absolutely the same car the entire time. And law enforcement will be able to prove it to you, because you'll see a car driving by 111 to King Road heading east on Queen Road at like 4:07 after it already turned around. And then you'll see it show up in here, completing the loop, looking just like it did on 1, 2, and 3. Huh? Ah, jeez. How come we're not talking about what we're talking about? Let's see. Anyways, all right, guys. I think that's going to do it for tonight. Gonna go chill out. Didn't really sleep much last night. Was up till about I think we got home at 2 in the morning, or like 1:30. Yeah. All right. Anyways, thanks to early on to Broken Scout there, Eugenie, K. Me, Wise Child, Dana 1972, Sirius Black, Trish Atwell, Alley Cat, Kathy Fredmaker, Stacy Facey, Ivan Victor, Janet Drums, See Through, Don, and then Laura 60 has been a member for 40 months. Man. See Through, Alley Cake, Michelle H, Sandy Shirley, Jessica Schubach. And sorry, sometimes I don't see some of the, stuff that comes by. If it doesn't make the sound, sometimes I'm doing something else. Like if I don't see a lot of times the member, the 40 months type thing, because it's shooting by and it doesn't have an audio attached to it. The Broken Scout, Quietly Frozen, Sandy Shirley, Jessica Schubach, Sirius Black, Quietly Frozen again, WNC Granny, The Broken Scout, Dream of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. And then I gifted 5 memberships because we reached the goal up there. I don't know, Tanya. Did you send it just now, or? I have no idea. You'll have to send it again. I get so many emails, it's hard to. Nah, forget it. You guys are talking about other stuff. I'm gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on to something else. Let's see. We had a. I already got the campground map. Oh, and Ginger M again. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I can if you guys want me to, I can go over it again. But you guys were talking about stuff that's absolutely unrelated to anything I was talking about, so that's when I realized, well, I've lost the audience tonight, so I'm going to go do something else, right? But if you want me to go over the Delphi documents, as long as that's what we're talking about, then that would be cool. Right? All right. Let's see. Yeah, it's the contempt document here. We got it right here. All right, let's do it. So I'm just going to read these things here. Well, I'll read the whole damn thing. All right. So here we go, everybody. Here we go. And don't forget to help support the channel. We're doing some reading now. Comes now the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas C. McClellan, and brings to the court's attention, as an officer of the court, verified information of contemptuous conduct by defense counsel Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin. This comes a day after the defense put out why the judge should be removed because she's so biased and everything like that. And then the next day, that was completely blown away to meaninglessness by this document by McClelland and the prosecution side. This says the state would ask the court to order Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin to appear before this court and show cause if there be any reason why they should not be held in indirect contempt for violation of this court's orders. The state would ask the court to consider the following information. So here we go. That both Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin were appointed by this court to represent the defendant herein as public defender on November 14, 2022. So they were appointed by the court, so there wasn't any bias there. They just said, hey, yeah, why don't you... That a hearing was held on November 22nd, 2022 to resolve preliminary matters. The same day, the state of Indiana filed a motion for an order prohibiting the parties, counsel, law enforcement officers, court personnel, coroner family members from disseminating information or releasing any information. So on November 22nd, there was a motion to basically create a gag order, right? And then the court took the state's motion under advisement. So that means McClellan and them wanted a gag order. They took it under advisement. They were looking at it. But in an in-chambers conference, defense counsel Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin were incredulous. It doesn't say that. They refused to agree to the state's motion. stating that such an order, like a gag order, was unnecessary because they had no intentions of discussing this case in public. Oh, okay. Well, then we don't need one then, right? Because you guys are never going to discuss it in public. And this was on, December 22nd, or November 22nd time frame. Then on November 1st, the defense put out a press release that included extrajudicial statements by means of public communication that commented on the case to the public and to the media, including commenting on the investigation by law enforcement, the evidence discovered against the defendant, and presenting evidence that they believe proves the defendant is innocent. The information released would have been in direct violation of the gag order that the defense would not agree to, and which the defense stated was unnecessary because they were not going to discuss this case in the public. So they were going to do the gag order, but the defense said, you don't need to do a gag order. We won't do it because we'll never talk about it. Then boom, they put out all this crap on it. That press release contained multiple comments of the kind presumed to have a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing and adjudicative proceeding in this matter. Number 6, that the court entered an order on December 2nd, 2022, granting the state's motion for order prohibiting the parties' counsel, law enforcement. So then on the 2nd, so this was on the 1st, the defense put this thing out, and then on the 2nd, I don't even have to read this, they put a gag order in place. And then on the 7th one is that sometime in December, defense counsel Andrew Baldwin violated the court's gag order by sending an email to Brandon Woodhouse, who was a felon, containing an outline of discovery including the names of juvenile witnesses. Brandon Woodhouse is not an attorney on this case and is not involved in this case in any capacity. So they just accidentally sent this information to a felon. But they're not reckless at all, these two attorneys. I mean, they're just, man, they're awesome. That further, number 8, that further defense counsel Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin failed to notify the court or the state of this particular dissemination of information to Brandon Woodhouse, and they actually withheld it from the court and the state by asking Brandon Woodhouse to delete the email. Hey, Brandon, just delete the email, okay? Thanks. That this leak of information was not discovered until the state uncovered it on Brandon Woodhouse's YouTube channel in March of 2023. So I remember that those images were going around that showed a list of people, and that was real. People weren't sure if it was real or not. Further, it was discovered that Brandon Woodhouse had disseminated the information to several other people, and his YouTube channel was viewed by multiple viewers. This dissemination of material from the case is a violation of the gag order that directly relates back to defense counsel. And then number 10, that on February 13th, 2023, the state filed a motion requesting, and thank you, Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches, that on February 13th, 2023, the state filed a motion requesting a protective order governing discovery in an effort to prevent the defense from disseminating evidence in the case. Requesting a protective order, so they made it more serious, like, hey, Number 11, that on February 17th, 2023, the court granted the state's motion and put in place a protective order setting forth very restrictive rules to prevent dissemination of the discovery in this case to the public or to anyone not involved in the case. So just think about it like that. There was a gag order. Now it's even more severe. They are preventing any dissemination of material that should not be seen by the public. And it says, number 12, that in October 2023, the state was made aware by the families of the victims that crime scene photos were leaked to the public. Indiana State Police began an investigation into how the photos were leaked. It became immediately obvious that the leaked photos came from the defense. On September 18, 2023, the defense filed a Frank's motion with a memorandum in support of. So they filed a memorandum in support of the Frank's motion. The memorandum described the crime scene in gory graphical detail. It sure did. And it was written in a way to do that. You know, it's funny, at the top of the document it says, if there's people out, basically, if there's people out there that aren't really aware of the case, let me tell you about it. Well, shouldn't these documents only be seen by people who are absolutely aware of the case? It became immediately obvious that the leaked photos came from the defense. On September 18, 2023, the defense filed a Frank's motion with a memorandum in support. The memorandum described the crime scene in gory graphic details. As part of that memorandum, the defense attached exhibits that were provided in hard copies to the state and the court. Some of the exhibits were side-by-side photos that the defense created and photos of the crime scene that the defense had altered. These photos were the photos that were leaked to the public. So isn't that crazy? So the photos that were leaked to the public were in that Frank's memorandum. That investigators were led to a podcaster, number 13, who said number 13 is, investigators were led to a podcaster who said he got the pictures from an individual that he knew. The investigation led officers to determine the podcaster got the photos from a man that he knew who got them from Robert Fortson. Robert Fortson received the photos from Mitch Westerman, who is tied to the defense. On October 10, 2023, defense counsel Andrew Baldwin stated on a conference call with all parties that a trusted confidant by the name of Mitch Westerman stopped by his office to visit, snuck into his conference room where all the discovery in the case was being held, unsecured, and took photos of the crime scene pictures. Defense counsel Baldwin stated that this occurred without his permission and that the pictures were stolen. Ironically, this was hours after investigators spoke to Fortson and determined that Mitch Westerman leaked the photos and he was the connection to the defense. See, the thing is this story here is bogus. The story about, I think that, as we said last night, the photographs that were in the office, that those have nothing to do with how these were released. I think they were released because Mitch Westerman was given a copy. I think we find this out in a minute. He was given a copy of the Frank's memorandum that had all the photographs attached to it, and he leaked them, and then they came up with this stupid story to protect Baldwin and Rosie. I don't know which one the altered photos were, but that the investigation by the Indiana State Police revealed that Mitch Westerman previously worked for Baldwin. I mean, this is really important stuff, so you got to really pay attention here. That the investigation by the Indiana State Police revealed that Mitch Westerman previously worked for Baldwin and was a person Baldwin trusted. In an interview with Indiana State Police, defense counsel Baldwin admitted that he voluntarily gave Mitch Westerman, listen to this, a copy of the Frank's memorandum to review. So why do we all believe now that he went into the office and took photos? He had them already. Why would he need to do that? That's the excuse. He had to bite the bullet. Listen, everybody. And I think the state's implying it in this document here, that Mitch Westerman is biting the bullet to protect Baldwin and Rosie because he was given the Frank's memorandum that had the exact photographs that were released to the public. Can I get a boom? And this is what we've been saying the whole time, okay? That this whole story in the office is ridiculous. There is nobody that would do this. There is no way in hell that you would go to your friend's office and start taking photographs of crime scene photos. People don't do that shit, okay? This right here is absolutely proof that the story made up about, oh, well, I was waiting in a room and there was just these photos and I took photos of them and then I gave them to a guy named Robert. No, you got them right off of your, the document, the Frank's memorandum. That's where you got these photographs. That's how you disseminated them. You might have taken a picture of the picture you got. Now there is one that has a mouse pointer on it, so you kind of wonder, like, okay, did he put him on his computer or something? But I guarantee you, why would he? Let me ask you this: if he had already had the Frank's memorandum, the memorandum in support of a Frank's hearing, why would he then need to go take photographs of the same pictures he already has? He already has these clear versions of them. Why would he need to take pictures of them? Anybody? Yeah. So anyways, he previously worked for Baldwin and was a person Baldwin trusted. In an interview with Indiana State Police, defense counsel Baldwin admitted that he voluntarily gave Mitch Westerman a copy of the Frank's memorandum to review. Wow, I mean, so that's obvious then. Defense counsel Baldwin also stated that he gave the Frank's memorandum to another civilian to review. I wonder if that had a podcaster. The Frank's memorandum and exhibits contained protected discovery information that included very sensitive crime scene photos that were leaked by Mitch Westerman. See, that's what they're saying here. Don't you guys see this? Specifically, the investigation revealed that Mitch Westerman gave the photos to an individual named Robert Fortson. So why would he need to go into Baldwin's office and sneak some photographs when he already had the memorandum? Man, this is freaking amazing. It's obvious. Yeah. I bet you the people that think Richard Allen is innocent don't make these correlations right here. They don't see him because their brains don't want to see it. Yeah, so anyways, that on October 12, 2023, defense counsel Brad Rosie submitted a letter to this court admitting that both he and defense counsel Andrew Baldwin had agreed to store the discovery in the conference room in defense counsel Baldwin's office. Further, defense counsel Rosie admits that Mitch Westerman had access to the conference room and took the photos. Right, but that's just what they're saying. See, here's the thing. They have to protect themselves. You know, one thing that's interesting is they do admit that they give Westerman the memorandum, which had those exact same photographs in it. But can they explain why Mitch Westerman would then go in and take photographs of the same pictures that he already has? And then on October 12, 2023, it says right here, specifically the investigation revealed that Mitch Westerman gave the photos to an individual named Robert Fortson, who then passed them on to individuals who distributed them throughout the internet. That on October 12, 2023, defense counsel Brad Rosie submitted a letter to this court admitting that both he and defense counsel Andrew Baldwin had agreed to store the discovery in the conference room in defense counsel Baldwin's office. Further, defense counsel Rosie admits that Mitch Westerman had access to the conference room and took the photos. Finally, defense counsel Rosie admits that it was negligent on the part of the defense counsel to allow Mitch Westerman alone in the office where sensitive discovery materials was stored. See, I think it's way more nefarious than that. I think that they wanted the photographs leaked out there to sort of, show they were hoping that people would think that those were runes on the bodies, right? And they intentionally gave them the Westerman, and it was a plan, and they probably even said, hey, if this ever gets caught, though, we're going to have to say that you went into the office and took these photos, and we had no direct knowledge of you disseminating them. That's what I believe. I believe what I just said. Okay? And so I don't, it makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense here. Why does it make sense to anybody in here that Mitch Westerman, put a 1 if it makes sense. If you think it makes sense that Mitch Westerman would go into Baldwin's office and take photographs in the office, it's probably the other way around, Lillian, because I'm saying, do you think it makes sense that Baldwin would go into his office? I mean, Baldwin had an office where Mitch Westerman went into and took photographs of the same pictures that he already has on the Frank's memorandum. Does that make sense to anybody? Why would anybody do that? Hey, ooh, look at, hey, I've got that picture. Let me take another picture of it. Oh, yeah, wow, that'd be so cool. Let me get another one. Yeah, so the truth is that they intentionally gave it to Mitch Westerman to spread out among society. Because why would they give it to Mitch Westerman, who's an ex-employee? Like, he doesn't work there anymore. Yeah, right? So they were like, hey, can you do us a favor, man? We need to get some of these out there because look at this. These are definitely runes. And we're going to be putting out some information on, Odinism and all that stuff. And it's really going to help us out. All right? Now, if somehow it gets back to us, you're going to have to say that you took photographs in our office, okay? It's about the only way to get out of this. They might have come up with it later. Like, they didn't think they'd get caught, so later they go, oh man. He goes, listen, I'll just bite the bullet. I'll say I came in and I stole them from you. Mitch Westerman alone in the office. Okay, then it says, then in section 10 of that same letter, defense counsel Rosie accepts responsibility for lapse in security and caused the photos to be leaked, admitting to the court that they are in direct or in indirect contempt of the court's orders. That on October 18th, 2023, Mitch Westerman submitted an affidavit to this court stating that he in fact went into the conference room. So he had to make a full affidavit of this, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. But there's no way to disprove that he did that. And took pictures of discovery evidence. You know what they should do is look for surveillance footage of him on a camera going into Baldwin's office. That investigators were able to retrieve messages between Fortson and another individual that showed that Robert Fortson had detailed real-time knowledge about when evidence was submitted to the defense. And that's how I knew. Because Fortson told somebody that is friends with somebody I know, and I was told that information. That's how I knew that there was this Odin stuff that was going to be coming out. Isn't that weird? Knowledge about when evidence was submitted to the defense and the contents of that evidence for weeks before the photos were leaked. Fortson also knew the actions defense took in trial preparation, leading law enforcement to believe that this was not a one-time act of one person, but a consistent leak of information and discovery in the case. Yeah, so they were using Fortson to put out, and maybe it was through like Westerman, I guess. I wonder how Fortson, let's see, no, retrieved messages between Fortson and another individual, so I wonder who that was. That showed that Robert Fortson, okay, so they were able to see that Fortson was telling another unnamed person. I think that's probably Cohen. There's another individual named Cohen, I think, Mark Cohen. I think that's the person he was talking to. He had detailed real-time knowledge about when evidence was submitted to the defense and the contents of that evidence for weeks before the photos were leaked. Fortson also knew the actions defense took in trial preparation, leading law enforcement to believe that this was not a one-time act of one person, but a consistent leak of information and discovery in the case. The investigation showed that Westerman would get information about the case and then give it to Fortson. See? So that was how it was supposed to work. And that's how it all worked. Here's how it worked. In my opinion, Rosie and Baldwin communicated with Westerman. They wanted stuff leaked. So they gave Westerman the Frank's memorandum with the photographs and said, yeah, we need some of this leaked out there. So he leaked the photographs, gave it to Fortson. They also told Westerman to tell Fortson about a whole variety of other leaks that were going to be out there. And I'm sure they made sure that specific podcasters, for example, knew that the documents were going to be uploaded on the Indiana site for them to download really quick before they were removed by the state. It says that the investigators attempted to interview both Mitch Westerman and Robert Fortson, each of which declined. So they declined to be interviewed. Shortly after investigators attempted to interview Robert Fortson, he took his own life. And now, we were talking about this last night. I think the death of Fortson needs to be looked into. It's a little weird now. An investigation into that death led law enforcement to find out that shortly before his death, he'd expressed concerns about the open investigation concerning the discovery leak in the case and stated to someone that if he just came clean, all of this would go away. So he sounds like he was about ready to come forward and say something. And then he ends up committing suicide, a suicide that never really made sense to anybody. I know I sound a little conspiratorial here, but this makes sense. Again, don't you think it's weird that if he's saying to somebody, haven't we all thought, isn't it strange that he took his life over leaking something? That nobody does that, okay? You would be like, oh shit, I got caught. That was stupid of me. Nobody is thinking, he's not connected to the attorneys either. So he's not somebody that's going to, and neither is Westerman. I mean, in terms of a job, right? Like, they're not working there. So I don't see the pressure on Fortson to take his life. Do you? Does anybody really see that level there? I agree with that, Zozo. That's who I was talking about. Come on, start typing, you guys. Come on. What was the reason that you guys wanted me to do this shit and nobody's typing? Why did Robert Fortson take his life? Anybody come up with that? And I think it's strange that he's saying he messaged somebody and said, if I come clean, all this would just go away. And now think about it like this. God, you could really go down a rabbit hole on this one. And then, so whoever he's talking to, if they got back to Baldwin and Rosie, they're like, shit. And man, who are those defense attorneys connected to? A lot of different people. I think they need to investigate that death. Because, man, the timing, and it doesn't make sense. If I just come forward, it would just go away. I'll just come clean. It'll go away. And I know it's like I don't really do conspiracies, but this is one that is right in front of your face because he literally says, God, if I just come clean, all this would go away. And it didn't ever make sense to me. I don't know. What about you? Anybody in here think it made sense that he would do that? That he took his own life? It's just weird. Then number 21, that a search warrant on the iCloud account of Mitch Westerman revealed screenshot photographs of conversations between Mitch Westerman and defense counsel Andrew Baldwin, wherein they candidly discuss the Richard Allen case and candidly talk about the court and the state displaying a free flow of information that is protected by the court's gag order and the order protecting discovery. That the investigation shows that defense counsel failed to secure evidence and discovery materials in the case, specifically graphic crime scene photos, which were then distributed to the public and put on the internet in violation of the court order dated February 17, 2023. On October 19, 2023, and again at a hearing held on October 31st, David Hennessy, attorney for Andrew Baldwin, suggested to the court that both attorneys be sanctioned for their actions. See, isn't that interesting? That means they're admitting. Right? Those sanctions have yet to be addressed. But the state was notified in the beginning of the leak by the defense. I think they just meant to say by the families of the victims, not the word defense. Since that time, the state had an opportunity to talk to the families of the victims about the photos and information that was leaked. The amount of harm and re-victimization that this caused the families of the victims is unmeasurable and incurable. That the press release and the 2 occasions of leaked information show a trend by defense counsel Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin of not being completely honest with the court, violating the court's gag order set in place to protect the integrity of the case, and failing to comply with the protective order. You know, this is so much better than the one written by them. I mean, it lays it out methodically in an order, you know, sort of the way I make some of my videos, right? It's like you read this one, and by the time you're done reading it, it proves exactly what we have always thought, that they are piles of crap, right? Like, these 2 attorneys are, in my opinion, not good people. Okay, they are really unethical, and you can see here. And who's the civilian that you gave the Frank's memorandum to, by the way? You know, who's that person? Yeah, I think this proves what we've all been saying, though, that Mitch Westerman intentionally released these photographs, and there was knowledge that it was going to happen by the defense team because they gave him. So think about it like this: Westerman was the link to Fortson disseminating information intentionally by the defense. One of the items given to Westerman by the defense team was the Frank's memorandum that contained the photographs from the crime scene. And then Fortson got those too. Okay? So isn't that just the same part of the same thing? Like, it's all going through Westerman to Fortson, Westerman to Fortson, Westerman to Fortson, Westerman to Fortson, over and over and over and over again. But because the crime scene photos are a gross violation of the gag order, they had to come up with a story to protect Baldwin and Rosie. So they came up with this story about, oh yeah, it was Westerman came in there. He was just waiting for us, and he took out his handy dandy Polaroid and he started taking pictures of the same photos we gave him. I know it's a little weird. I mean, some people just like to have multiple copies and versions. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, there you go, everybody. See that extra half hour there, and it went like this. Anyways, I thanked everybody earlier, and thank you up there to Wise Child and Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. I mean, don't you guys think that that's exactly how it went down? That Westerman was brought in, he's friendly with them, he's not working for them, so it gives them some separation. And they're like, hey, we need to put some of this stuff out there. And he's given the Frank's memorandum. Yeah, that had the photos on it. Except what's interesting is the photos were released from that by him, but the memorandum was posted online without the photos attached, so that another party just kind of mucking it all up. Oops, we accidentally uploaded this, and then and then it gets disseminated by somebody else. It's not our fault. We put it up there. We didn't realize that this was part of the gag order, et cetera, and that makes it out there. Now the crime scene photos, they came from, it's all built to be separated from them a little bit. I know it does make sense, doesn't it, Lillian? It's pretty crazy. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for being here. We will see you guys tomorrow. I'll let you know how Blue's doing. Hopefully, I'll have him, sometime when I get up. Okay. Yeah, I think I did see that one, Tanya. I think I made a folder on that. Send it to me again so it reminds me of it. I think I did have a folder on that one. I'm sure they were just trying to show a photo of his cell to make it look like he was, oh, wow, look at his cell, everybody. But anyways, that's it. Thanks. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And also, thanks, everybody, for reaching the goal and all your positive well wishes for Blue, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I bet the positive vibes are helping him out over there. I might try to check in later just to see what's going on. I call like every 5 hours. They're probably like sick of me, But they can go screw themselves. I'm gonna call. All right. Anyways, thanks everybody. And as I always say, until next time. Wait, was there anybody? What the hell? Hey, it's a pot. Look at that potted plant. What the hell's going on? All right, well, I guess that's all we got. Anyways, see you guys later. And be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Quite a while now, Gray.
I have not seen one person that is a
crime dissector, a thug rejector,
I'm a
certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get ya on a stretcher, even try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Lector, nectar, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Full deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector
on his pector.
With all respect, y'all,
just remember I've a temple fucking
check, y'all.
I have no agenda.
I'm no agenda, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so let's get right back to work. All right, everybody? Wow, got some pipes there, Mary Lou. And also thank you to Ginger M from earlier on PayPal, and also Mag earlier in the day, who said, "Hi, I watched your last live and saw Blue, poor little pup, praying for him. You, Chris, and Chloe can't always be in the lives, but I'm always watching. Thank you for caring so much for others." Boom. Look at that. She's awesome. Anyways, so some of the longtime freaks are still out there, but, just in a different zone at some point sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we'll all get back on the same page at one of these days. All right. So thanks, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for the support for the channel. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, Chloe's looking around.